Hi, Claire.
Great to have you on here. Thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, this is an incredibly difficult thing that not only happened to you, but to talk about as well. So we thank you for that in advance. What do you think, first of all, to the news today that Andy Burnham is saying, let's pause this until we've looked at it again?
It's not relieved my fear one bit. He's paused it, and that just means that he's paused the outrage that's coming from it, from people who have been affected by abuse, sexual abuse, and so I don't think it's stopped what's going to be the inevitable. My dad got Elliot Appleyard, he got 20 years in 2018, and I first went to report him in 1984. And I made a 17-page statement, and I had internal forensic tests, and I was internally bleeding as well. And the police said to me, if this goes to court, your name will be blackened and dragged through the mud, and you will be made out to be the biggest liar and slag going. Now, it took me 35 years and 7 attempts of never stopped knocking on the police door to get my justice. And the abuse started when I was 12 years old, when he started sexually kissing me like a boyfriend girlfriend does. So I was a very young teenager, and he's groomed me from birth. He told my mum when I was a young girl that he believed all fathers should break their daughters in like Native American Indians do. That are the words he used. And the first time he raped me, I asked him what my granddad would say if he knew what you'd just done. And he says, don't worry, sweetheart. He believed that all fathers should break their daughters in like Native American Indians do. So it matched up in court that he'd said that. And my dad, the judge, gave him 20 years because the seriousness of the crime came under category A, but my dad has served in a category C prison for the 6.5 years that he's been in prison since 2019. So I know that they've put him in there because they said that he's not a danger to society while he's in prison. So he's going to be on the first list that they're going to let him out. And that's my fear, because he's in category C and not a category A prisoner.
Right. Listen,
So
Carol, I am so sorry. And it's horrific what you have lived with and continue to live with. And I can hear it's obviously every single time you talk about this, it's re-traumatizing. So I don't want to do that anymore to you. But thank you so much for putting our audience in the picture, because it's really important to understand. I'd put victims at the heart of this, as we were just hearing from the prisons minister there. We were told that victims would receive a letter were their perpetrator be, was that perpetrator to be one of the people who may be released. Did you get a letter about your dad?
I got a letter about my dad, yes, saying that he may be released, and that to phone my probation officer, and if I wasn't happy, my probation officer told me to make a complaint to the prison. And so what good's that going to do? What's the prison going to do about it? It's not the prison guard's or minister's job. It's Andy Burnham who's got the call on this now, hasn't he? And if he's got any respect for children who have been raped by adults, then he will make sure that this never happened, this early release scheme. My dad's got another 3 years to go, and I deserve that other 3 years. He got 20 years. He serves 10 inside, 10 on licence. He shouldn't have to reduce it to 7 on 7 years inside. That 3 years is, more time for me to heal from what he's done. And hopefully he'll have died in prison, because he'll be 81. And I don't condone hanging. I don't want any, blood on my hands. But, he'll be an older man, and he'll be less, less violent, because he has still got his guns and his laptop and his naked pictures that he took of me, because he didn't meet the criteria for arrest in his home, because it was an historical case. And so they've gone to his house and they've summoned him to court. So he's still got the naked Polaroid pictures of me. He's still got his mobile phone. When he gets out of prison, he's still got everything. He's never been searched. So when they do assessments, that they said they will do thorough assessments. I have been to my mayor, Alison Lowe, and Tracy Brayburn, and I've been to West Yorkshire Police, and I've told them all this, and I took a civil claim out on West Yorkshire Police, so I've got all the disclosure, and I know the police have said it's unlikely that he's got his guns. I know the truth, and they know the truth.
Okay.
I am in danger when my dad comes out of prison.
Listen, Carol, thank you for all of that. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of claims there that you're making. I know your father's inside at the moment. You know, we can't verify all of those other claims right now, but I want to come back to you. And if you could talk to Andy Burnham, because obviously he wants to hear from people like you. What would you say? There's a pause. He's going to look at it again. What would you say to him?
I'd say let us be part of the assessment, and then when they assess my dad, what I'm telling is the truth, they will not let him out. That's what I want him to say. That he will not let them out when he hears what I have got to tell him about why I have genuine fears about him coming out. I want him to look me in the face and say, "You're right, Carol. You do not deserve to be looking over your shoulder for the rest of your life after what he's done to you."
Carol, thank you so much for joining us, for talking us through that. And I think hearing, obviously, what you've been living with for most of your adult life, and it puts into picture why there is so much anger and there is so much concern about these early releases. So thank you very much, Carol, for joining us.
And there's 500,000 girls a year raped, and more than half is in the home. So it's not just me this is happening to.
Carol, thank you. Carol Higgins there, as you heard, raped by her father as a teenager back in the 1980s. 35 years it took for him to be convicted and jailed, found guilty, and got a 20-year sentence. But she did receive a letter saying possibly he could be one of the people who was up for early release. Prime Minister Andy Burnham has now said they're pausing that to have a deep review into it. We have to also say, if you've been affected by what we've been speaking about, there is a range of organisations and websites that can offer you advice and support. You can go to the BBC Action Line website, bbc.co.uk/Action Line, to find the resources there. 17 minutes past 6.